Welcome back to the Liveyon Pure Cast Podcast. I'm Dr. Gavick, Director of Medical Education for Liveyon, and to my left is John Kosel-Sharon, CEO and founder of Liveyon. Welcome, John.
Hey, thank you.
You know, we also have with us today a very special guest, Benito Novas, our good friend, and you traveled with him recently to South America. Perhaps you and Benito have some good stories.
Yeah, absolutely. How you doing today, Benito?
Hey guys, thank you for having me.
Yeah, we did. Benito and I just went to Argentina, went to Buenos Aires, and Benito has an office down there, has been worked down there for the better part of 10 years, and so we went to ANMAT, INCUCA, and all the regulatory agencies to work on bringing Liveyon and our stem cell product to South America.
Well, so let's talk a little bit. Benito, since we've been in this industry, doctors have been constantly asking us, is there some kind of training out there for us so that we can have some standardized type of training for this industry? And you represent a company, you're president of a company called ISCA, International Society of Stem Cell Application. Can you tell us a little bit about what you do?
Yes, Doc. Well, ISCA is it's an organization based in South Korea. It's the brainchild of Professor Dayon Kim. And the reason behind even though I was as a private entrepreneur, I've been in the field like John said for the better part of 10 years. There's always, and this is a worldwide phenomenon, there's always the need for doctors. It's a new field, it's a relatively new field. So if you're a physician and you're over 35 years of age, chances are you didn't learn this at school. So the confusion out there is tremendous. And countries like that, the regulations have been lenient, like South Korea. It's literally a Wild West. So the idea was to create an organization, an independent organization, where we could basically create standards of practice for point-of-care type regenerative medicine procedures and research, and foster communication among physicians that are practicing.
So we know Benito
Through our conferences.
Oh, you're back. So we know you work in South Korea. What other parts of the world do you work in?
We've been conducting training in 35 different countries. Basically, pretty much every country in Latin America, from the U.S. down to La Patagonia, Chile, Argentina, in every country, and Southeast Asia, the Philippines, South Korea, Japan, Europe, North Africa. So we basically doctors approach us all the time, trying to establish, because everybody was trying to do something different. Everybody was following their own rules. So is there a standard of practice? Is there someone like we can follow? Like if there are protocols, is there some research that we can work together? So the organization was founded under those principles, to trying to foster that environment of networking, working together, creating standards and training as many physicians as possible, because at the end of the day, what we're trying to do is to get these therapies to reach as many patients as possible, and that's going to be through physicians.
Well, that's great. I also know that all that travel has got to be super expensive as well. So, and I know in our conversations you wanted to come to the U.S. So I'm really proud and glad to be able to be chosen as your sponsor, and we're gladly going to move forward to help you bring your educational seminars to U.S.-based physicians as well. And so, Liveyon is going to go ahead and sponsor your company to be able to travel around the U.S., and hopefully we'll be traveling with you over the next year to do all of these different training seminars here in the U.S.
So let's
100%. It's been a tremendous blessing for the organization to be able to have Liveyon on board. Not only because we when we started, we were not directly looking for a sponsor, but we wanted a company or a group that will comply with the standards that the organization represents to our physicians. We have a very, very large following, and we're trying to be as non-biased as possible. So having Liveyon, being able to see what you guys have done, being able to test independently what you guys have done, and not only that, have your commitment and get you on board to be able to conduct all of this. It's been a tremendous blessing, and we hope that it's going to last for many, many years, so we can really expand the field, and we can really become the gold standard of practice.
So we've worked with you on a couple of your meetings so far, of your ISCA training sessions. For our audience out there, can you give them an idea? What does this training session look like? What are they going to learn? What are they going to be exposed to? What's the advantage of the ISCA training?
Well, I mean, if you put it just to start, I mean, the lack of training is tremendous. So any value, and I'm not underselling our training program, but any value that you can put, that you can provide the physicians and that you can give them, it's going to make a tremendous difference, whether the quality is high or not. What we've put together with Liveyon support is a tremendous program that covers pretty much everything from the commercialization of these therapies to the manufacturing process, to protocols for different conditions, we cover a wide array from basics from molecular biology. So we cover everything. It's a practical injection training. So it's a full-blown intensive 2-day complete certification course where they're going to get a tremendous value in the field. We have some, and I want to address this, we have some critics in the past that have accused us that we are trying to certify people as experts in a 2-day training, and that's simply not the case. What we're providing is the basis for a physician to go out there and really continue the study and continue the search and continue the training, because this is an emerging field. We're not pretending to create specialists in 2 days. However, our training is second to none. I mean, there's nothing, and I'm confident to say this, there's nothing in the market right now that's even close to what we're offering.
Yeah, I know your sister is actually a doctor, and your sister does a lot of the trainings herself. I know she travels around the world with you and also by herself. And for the past 10 years, you primarily have been doing and teaching bone marrow procedures. So you did BMAC or bone marrow aspirates. You've done autologous procedures and used those type of cells. And now as technology is advancing, you're getting into the allogeneic products. So you really come from a very diverse background of all the different tissues and sources for stem cells.
100%. I mean, we started out. We started out in the autologous arena, and we I explained, we travel around. We train more doctors than anybody else in the world. I mean, like I said, we've done this in 35 different countries with diverse groups of physicians, and now to see how the industry itself has evolved, and now the use of these perinatal cell lines that are so effective and that are simply the future. So being able to incorporate this in our trainings and being able and see their results firsthand and see the physicians' practices being transformed by this knowledge. And not only by the knowledge, but just also by the tools that we're providing them in terms of protocols. I've seen these doctors use this book of protocols as you would use the Bible. I mean, it's a tremendous tool for them in an industry that's emerging, and there is simply not enough knowledge out there for them to be able to access. So when if you go,
yeah. So when they go, you mentioned this book and training and protocols. So when someone goes through this 2-day course that you're talking about, do they get the protocols? Do they get your so-called, book of your Bible?
Yes, yeah.
I mean, what all do they get?
Actually, they get several Bibles. So no, it's not only one, or books of the Bible. Let's put it that way, at risk of sounding like kind of blasphemous here. But I mean, we give them protocols for many different indications. We give them the most current literature and studies and peer-reviewed articles. We curate a collection for them. And then we give them all of the wonderful slides and presentations of our instructor, our team of trainer instructors that are comprised by very, very important scientists and physicians. And last but not least, we give them a book that's geared towards, because let's face it, I mean, there's a commercial aspect to this industry and to regenerative medicine in general. So for them to be able, for instance, to conduct a successful patient consultation, that has to be taught as well. So we give them like these four books, including a marketing guide and reference for them to go back and be able to really talk to their patients and communicate the benefits of what this technology has to offer.
Wow.
And I would second that, because when we first saw your program, I was thoroughly impressed with not only the completeness of everything, the currentness of all the studies, all the research studies, all the protocols that you'd put together and everything. I think it's very impressive, and I think any physicians who are watching should take the opportunity. It's ISSCA, ISCA, International Society of Stem Cell Application. And if you're looking for certification, I think it's a very reputable company, and I think that these weekends are important. They're good. They're super informative. And just the feedback that we hear on a regular basis is really impressive. Benito, thank you so much.
Yeah, it's great, Benito. Thank you so much. And I also see that the doctors at the end of your training, if they've completed both days, get a very, very nice certificate that shows that they've completed the course, stem cell training. And if somebody wants to find out what city or what country or what location you're going to be in next, do you have a way for people, a website that they can go to, or how would they find out about these?
Yes, it's very easy, John. They just have to log in and to go. It's our site is issca.us. That's the URL. We are conducting these trainings in 24 different cities. So there are going to be like 12 in the United States and 12 overseas. Not only that, we're going to have 2 regenerative medicine conferences. These are large events that we're going to host approximately 500 physicians. We're going to have one in Miami at the end of October and one in Buenos Aires, Argentina in August. So by going to the site, issca.us, they'll be able to access the scientific program, social program, agenda, speakers, and they'll be able to register online. So I recommend, once again, I thank you guys for having me. We're really, truly blessed by Liveyon's sponsorship to be able to push this to as many physicians as possible. And hopefully the doctors that are listening will.
Yeah, that's perfect. Well, I think so. Let's go ahead and put a link to their website up on this podcast.
I think it's perfect.
Benito Novas, owner of ISSCA. That's issca.us is the website. And I look forward to seeing him in Buenos Aires at the training. We had a great time when we were down there.
I definitely look forward to Buenos Aires.
Okay. Oh yeah,
everybody. everybody loves Buenos Aires. But we'll see you here in the U.S. as well.
Thank you, Benito.
Excellent.
All right, thanks.
Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
All right.
That'll do it for this.
You
Hey,
bet.
that was good. We get a lot of requests, so I think it was really important to fulfill that.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Till next time.
All right, see you. Thanks.